I met with new clients who had indicated to me that their HR department said ... Okay. Now, I'm going to say it like this. In my opinion, I think that sometimes these people are trying to be helpful, but I think way too often in the state, county, city level, the HR departments are people who have either A, been there a long time, or B, have just gotten there and are doing what they have been told to do for a long time, thinking that that's the right thing to do. And it's not. It's absolutely not. The experience that we've run into is a perfect example of how I think little they know, or how little accurate information they have. We had a new matter come to us because HR told him that because the patient made a statement that he hit the patient first, that they're not going to provide him workers' compensation benefits. And the person had been assaulted at work because the patient, according to the video, had hit him about 40 times. Are you kidding? I mean, are you kidding? So HR is telling him that because the patient makes a complaint, that they're not going to provide him benefits, even though they can clearly see him getting assaulted by the patient on the video. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. That's why this is just so critically important. It's important to know what your rights are. It's important to understand what you need to do in order to protect yourself. And that's what we're doing here, okay? We're giving an explanation as to the benefits that you're entitled to when you get hurt at work and in the other areas of Social Security disability and disability pensions, okay? But when you get hurt at work, step number one, report the claim. Then after that, go and see the doctor. And then, yes, initially, more than likely, wherever you go, they're going to send you to the urgent care, the direct care, the place I wouldn't send my chocolate lab to. All right. But we have to get through that hurdle in order to get to a real doctor, someone who's a specialist. Is it an orthopedic injury? Is it a neurologic injury? What kind of injury are you having? And then let's get over to see the real doctor and get treatment. David, don't be nervous. They take a long time, so that the time, just because they're taking a long time, does not mean that that's a good or a bad thing. It doesn't mean that at all. It means it's just taking a long time. So when it comes to things like this, that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Okay, the kind of thing that I'm talking about is the false information, the incorrect information that people are getting fed, and they don't know any better, right? So this person it's been a month where the person has not received treatment because here's the kicker. He tried to go and see a doctor on his own, and what does his own insurance company say? This is a work-related injury. We're not going to provide or pay for medical treatment. Yeah. So, so now you're in a situation where the job HR is telling you, we're not providing it because they made a statement against you. And your insurance is saying, well, we're not going to pay for it because this is workers' compensation. And, so, in a day, I've got that pretty much fixed. But this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. So the idea is to make sure that when you get hurt, you report it, you go and see the doctors, you follow through with the medical treatment, and you communicate, right? If the doctors aren't treating you, or if they're not providing good treatment, or if the therapy isn't working or whatever, communicate with the doctor. And if the doctor doesn't want to do anything about that, then that's when we can get involved in terms of asking for a second opinion. They don't have to provide it, but we make the request. And then there's a process of trying to go through all of these things. Now, the idea, of course, of right now and for the last 2 years, everything has been slower because of COVID. And, we're virtual, not virtual. Now we want to do some trials in person. Some things are this and that. So the idea is that it's really difficult right now because there are, I think, like 38 different judges. And there are basically 38 ways that we have to handle court. So, to know which judge does what is almost half the key, which then goes to my point all the time where I'm saying it's like, look, I certainly want everybody to be using me, But if you're not going to use me, make sure you're using someone who does this for a living. You got to have the scorecard on the judges that you're in front of. You got to have the scorecard of the attorneys that you're performing in front of. So you got to know the arena almost as much as you do knowing the case and what's going on.